What's up, guys? And another edition of Athlete Forge Pro Tips. Let's talk a little bit, just a little bit, about mindset and how it really plays into nailing your training and nailing the goal. Come performance day, come race day, come event day, come PR day, whatever it may be. So much of it is about mindset. I know sometimes that can start to get cheesy or woo woo, but in reality, it is absolutely 100% what's going to get you to really exceed those goals. There's a reason why you're at the Athlete Forge and you didn't just pick up a training plan off the internet or went for the cheapest coach out there. It's because you wanted something big, something bodacious, something to like get you jacked up. And I know you're putting in all the training, but it's what happens between here is what's really going to get it. And there's going to be peaks and valleys, and what we need to first off know is with mindset, we have got to be prepared for failure. And I would say this: if you don't fail along the path to this goal, A, the goal was not big enough. B, I probably failed you as a coach and didn't push you far enough, because struggle does breed success. Failure is a requirement. So wrapping your head around that, knowing that some workouts aren't going to be good, some benchmark tests are going to be utter fails. Sometimes you're going to show up to game day or race day and just blow up. And so I want to give you two examples of where, just because I learn better from story, so that's a lot how I coach. Two particular examples that relate to me on how it was all about mindset. I put in the work, I failed a bunch of times, and it wasn't until I really clued in my brain and like dialed in on race day did I finally break the goal. So first off, story number one, or example number one, 2013, 43. I'd been doing long course for a while. Speed work usually resulted in injury. I went out, I did a 5K, and I think I did it in like 20 minutes and 3 seconds. And so I was talking with my coach and kind of just joking. I was like, you think I could do a sub 18 5K? He's like, let's do it. So for the next 5 months, that's all we focused on was the speed work. I was on like the razor's edge of injury constantly, just beating myself up, getting the recovery. Like I was putting in all the work. And so, race number one, I failed. And I think it was just the mindset wasn't there and the work hadn't been there. It was more like a benchmark, like let's see how close we are. And it was something, I think, like high 18s, maybe low 19s. So I got pissed and was like, all right, we got to dial it in tighter. And so there was a local guy who, for whatever reason, every time we ran into each other, he was comparing himself to me and just, kind of poking and prodding. And sure, a nice guy, but in all reality, it pissed me off. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this guy. This guy's my arch nemesis. I'm just going to pretend I'm racing him on every single training run I do. When I come to races, it's like I'm going to just destroy this guy. And so after that, I started going, and this is a trick I definitely recommend using. I'd go into Lifetime Fitness, and there'd be maybe 3 people in the whole place on the treadmills. They have like 80 of them. I would literally get behind anybody. It could be a female. It didn't matter. Get behind somebody, and I would envision this person as I'm doing my intervals. I'm thinking he's not doing them as fast as me. If I'm doing long endurance runs, he's not doing them as fast as me. Like I just started practicing, visualizing, and honing my mental craft during even the training runs, getting used to that race simulation of staying hyper focused, hyper on point. So as the more races come on, I end up doing 3 more. I went in with pretty good mindset, and this was race tactics, which again, you got to keep your brain dialed into what's going on. I know a couple cross-country kids came out, so I was like, oh, I'll start to pace with these guys. Half mile in, I realized I'm running like a 4:40 pace and was like, this is a bad idea. Completely blew up. Like I almost walked it in. Again, disappointed. It was a failure, but it's like, what did I learn? Okay, you went out too fast. Another one went out just a little bit too slow. I was too far behind and got stuck behind somebody, had a bob and weave. Well, that ate up a couple seconds. I got discouraged. I lost my train of thought. So again, this was a failure, but it was a learning process. And then finally, on the fifth time of trying this, so I had 4 huge failures. I executed it and did a 17:52. And it was because everything fell into place. But one of the things that never wavered was the mindset. And there was no way I was going to be able to crank that out if I wasn't in tune between the ears. And like I said, in tune between the ears on every training session. I grabbed that artificial arch nemesis and just made it real and honed my mental toughness. Example number 2, 49th birthday, which was just a little while ago. Last September. So I had a goal of wanting to, on my 49th birthday, deadlift 3 times my body weight. So I was going to deadlift. And I knew as I was lifting that I was going to gain weight. So I definitely got rid of my endurance body and was floating around 199, 200 pounds. So the goal was 600 pounds at the age of 49. And then I was going to back that up by doing the bourbon chase and trying to hold a pace of the same from 2 years ago when I was only 180 pounds. It was kind of an experiment. Can I be just raw strong, but still maintain endurance and be heavier at the same time? So, shows up, birthday, I'm jacked, literally 9 months of hyper-focused training on this deadlift. I thought, and at this point, it's like, man, I know what it takes to be mentally prepared. I show up that morning, I'm locked in, and go for it, fail. The sucker moved, just couldn't get it up. I was so pissed off, completely failed. So we're like, all right, back to the drawing boards. I went home. I think my coach probably thought like, okay, we need another month of training. I knew it had nothing to do with what the physical training was. He had done a great job programming. I had executed it. It was all between the ears. So we set it up for 3 weeks later. And it's like, you can't get that much stronger in 3 weeks. So the next day I was like, there's no fucking way I'm going to fail this. So I need to take this even more seriously. I obviously was not mentally prepared enough for this. So the whole day I had a list, check mark. I wanted to do it at least 15 times, that I was going to take 3 minutes out of the day. Just sit down on a couch or in a chair, could be here, close my eyes, and I literally visualize the lift. Again, can sound woo-woo, a little corny, but I played it through my head exactly the lift and executed it. So by the time the morning came, I had already done this 15, 20 times. Literally, I told him, I want to shortcut this warm-up. I know what we need to do. Like, I'm in the zone. I don't have time for distractions because I'm in a gym to start coming in. So we fast forwarded the warm up, made a couple leaps. I put in my headphones, hit the smelling salt, and literally ripped 600 pounds off the floor to the point where when I was done, people were congratulating me. They were like, dude, you could have ripped 620, 630. No, couldn't have. It looked like I could have. It was just because my brain was so hyper-focused on 600, that's what was going to happen. The refusal to fail, to have visualized it so many times. I didn't get physically stronger in 3 weeks. No, I probably could not have done 630 because my brain was simply dialed in for executing the 600. It took so much out of me kind of just to put this in perspective of how much mental game planning I had. I literally 15 minutes later was in my truck with the seat reclined, fast asleep. I slept for an hour in my truck. Drove home, central nervous system was completely shot. My whole body was cramping. This is for like a half a second of work. But that's what it took, was that mind-body connection and just that 100% all in. So I just want to bring this up, that as we're training, we will have conversations about your mindset. When it comes leading up to race day or event day or PR day, we're going to have in-person conversations. And these are some of the tools I'm going to talk about to really get you dialed in. And what I want you to do, I want you to take away from this video, is appreciate the power of mental preparedness. Because honestly, I couldn't have hit either of those two benchmarks. I'm just an average dude. There's no like special genetics. It literally was, I had to rely on between my two ears and hone it to achieve those two big goals. And notice inside those two goals, there were some massive failures. So don't get discouraged on failures. Struggle breeds success. It's all about the mindset. Cheers. Hope this helps. Rubber side down. Be built, not bought.
Drive it up.
You got this. This is easy.